If you're a comic that has no like
YouTube tells you so
fans or anything, you put your stand-up on YouTube 100%, and you keep putting it out there, and you shoot it at a lower budget so it doesn't break your fucking wallet, but you keep doing it. When you're ready to do a special, specials cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce. That's just a flat cost you can't get around. Like you can find ways.
Is it really though?
400,000.
Like, but because the best people charge that, because I bet you could find some people who can do some sick shit with a camera. You could do that's not going to be $400,000.
You could do it. You could probably get it done for $250. Do you want all the frills? Like, do you want fucking Buffer introducing you?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? How do you?
Okay, but so
do you want to make a special or a normal?
But even when I hear about all the YouTube specials recently in comedy, these guys always say like, I spent like 50 grand. I spent my life savings on it. And I know these guys right here could shoot your special and it'll be fire and they're not going to charge you 50 grand. They should, they could, they might, you know, but I know guys who are fucking fire that if you find the right people and they're just looking to get their name out and all that shit, like it doesn't have to be as expensive as I think people make it. I think there might be a certain company you go to and certain people and blah, blah, blah.
Depends
but
what you want. Do you want a guy with a steady cam walking around? Do you want to have 8 different cameras?
Sure.
You need 8 different guys
certain
holding
things you
those
have
cameras.
to pay for, no doubt.
You're in a massive theater.
But I do think sometimes you guys are...
You could...
You can do it too.
Trust me.
I just hate... It breaks my heart when I see some guys who I know don't have 50 grand and they literally put their life on the line for it. And it's like, I think you could have found some fucking interns.
No, you can.
Who would...
You can. There's no question. You can do it at any cost. But... at the end of the day, you are going to end up paying for what you do.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. Yeah,
exactly, right? So it's like, I've done them all. I've done the most lo-fi version. I've done multiple cameras. I've done them for all different prices. Editing is going to be crazy.
Have you found, though, like your lo-fi versus your hi-fi, whatever the terms are, is it worth that much more money? Would you say it's worth $400?
I can
because I bet you it's not. I mean, you're funny, and that's what people. I know the sweeping shot matters and the HD matters.
No, it doesn't.
But that's what I'm saying.
I said no sweeping shot.
Yeah, like
that's not what you pay for.
That's where it's like there is diminishing returns at some point, and I don't know what the money is, but
what you have to for me, like I mean, this is inside baseball, so maybe people don't give a fuck about this, but like how you edit a stand-up special is very important, and how you shoot a stand-up special is very important.
That I can understand making.
You have to, and you have to do it 2 ways now. You have to do it so it can also live on social, and it can live on
clips,
YouTube,
short form, long
whatever.
form. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, but how you, I mean, editing it is crucial. You really have to understand comedy. I think one of the reasons why comedy specials suck so much is that the audio editing, people have no fucking clue how to recreate what the room is. If you weren't in the room that night, you have no clue how to recreate it.
The crowd could be roaring,
and you hear nothing.
Like there's nothing upsets me more than not even the audio, but when there's a cut in an edit to someone not laughing. And I'm like,
what are you
why
doing?
is that front and center right now?
Yeah.
I'm laughing. Now you make me feel dumb for laughing.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what it is. It's the people cutting it are just doing their job.
Right.
Yeah. And like when we edited mine, I'll be honest with you, we did 1 minute a day.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's
1
wild.
minute. It's an hour. That's 1 minute a day. It would take us a day to go through. Some days maybe we got through 2 minutes, but 3 minutes. But some minutes it was 1 minute a day. That's finding. Remember, we shot 4 shows, so it's what is the best joke
of every
each fucking. And then there's mashed and put together seamlessly, so you're not noticing these cuts. Making sure, remember, we have 18 microphones throughout the room, so we could recreate the feel. For me, if there's a disconnect between energy in and audience energy out, you always feel uncomfortable. So if the comic's giving too much and they're not getting enough, you feel weird. If the comic's giving nothing and it's getting too much, you feel weird.
It's like this is not
the
matching.
ick. Your body knows there's something
Right.
impure about what it's watching.
Right.
So it's like finding
It's like a laugh
way-
track almost.
Literally.
Like, this is-
literally. So you have to recreate the feel of that room because you're performing for that room. So your energy is matching that. The people at home have to feel that.
Yeah.
So you have to be in there really making sure that you're recreating that for the
That
listener.
I can understand. That's worth the money.
That takes months.
Money. And months and money. Yeah.
Because guess what? We tried to do it budget once.
Oh yeah.
The first time we ever did a live show, we were like, we're gonna put it out after the show, like podcast. And we got in the room. This is 8 years ago, like a long time ago. And we got the video back. And we didn't even know we were supposed to have microphones in the room.
Yeah.
So
we
we
were
were
just working off this mic.
we
and
were-
it sounds like you're bombing.
We were like, yo, we killed
You
for our first
crushed.
time. The room was rolling. We're gonna put this out, and it was like,
I was like, I'm quitting the podcast.
And it feels
I'm gonna kill myself.
uncomfortable.
We're not funny.
And there are people who put their specials out like that.
Yeah,
Like I really think they like redid the audio for Cat Williams' special because it wasn't done right.
Right.
And they re-put it back on Netflix. People are like, it sounds like he's bombing. I think so. Don't I mean, someone fact check me on that, but I think that they did it. It is so crucial in comics. A lot of times they'll just film it and then just put it out. And it's like, no. You are, for me, when I'm doing a special, if I'm filming something, I'm doing it for the people at home, right? I'm doing it for that crowd, but I'm keeping in mind the people at home.
Yeah.
They have to be able to feel that. So when I'm watching the special and I saw people watching it in this room and like pauses were getting laughs, I'm like, oh, good. That means they're pulled in. One of the greatest things about Chappelle is he comes through the screen. Love him or hate him. When he's talking to you, he's telling you a story, he's doing jokes. He doesn't stay here. He comes through. He builds the tension outside of the screen, and that makes you feel like you're at the show. And all of a sudden, you're getting caught up in that tension. So when the release happens, it's a bigger laugh. You have to do that with the editing. You have to do that with the feeling and the vibe. And the more jokes are worked out, the more you know where those pauses are, the more you know how to like stretch that tension. Like I can even see in the cellar, like there's certain jokes, not the cellar, in the special, there's certain jokes that like I had worked out perfectly. And it's like, oh, I'm milking that. That's good. And then there are others that I'm like, I need 3 more months.
Yeah, that wasn't
I need 3 more months.
And I would have nailed it.
And I kept doing them afterwards. I was like, oh, I found a little bit more silence there. I could have had a little bit more beat there. Like, I don't know. For me, the special is like, after doing this one, I'm like, I need a brick.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like people have
it's
hit
a
me
lot.
up. They're like, "Hey, would
What's
you be
next? What's
interested?"
next?
No, they say, "Would you be interested in producing my special?" And I don't know how to say, "God no." Like, nothing would make
well,
me.
that's you know what? That's why I say like that's why those prices come in, because if you said I'll do it for $1 million, then that's the price.
Yeah.
How about this? Do you think there's anything with, as you were talking about that, because I've just been watching porn on VR recently. First time I put the goggles on and watched some porn. It was a trip, man. Adriana Chechik was whispering in my ear. And
no way!
It was wild. So, but I was thinking, I don't know, maybe
VR.
I don't think I would
There's a
want to
guy
put
who
on
did
goggles
VR
to watch a comedy special.
There's a guy who did it.
Yeah,
he did a VR one. I watched it. I mean,
I wonder if someone would pay.
You're in the room.
Like if your special was you pay for it and you get it at home, but there's also like this 3D element.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But I would not want to put on goggles.
I mean,
I'll put on
see the
goggles
other
to jerk
people.
off. I'm not putting on goggles to watch Andrew Schulz. All right, man. You're funny. You're not that good. You're not Adriana, man. No, it was wild.
No,
there's a audio thing in the headset, so I didn't even have like headphones in or whatever. And all of a sudden she's like, and it's in my ear, and I was
crazy.
Like, whoa.
See, I was when he was telling me about that. I'm trying to find something. So I have a very important question to ask you too in a second. But when he was telling me about that, found it. It was like I was like, see, I treat porn and sex so differently that if it got that close to sex, I'd be like, I'd rather go fuck somebody. This is too similar to sex.
I'd rather fuck you.
I'd rather,
though, bro. I'd rather be looking at her than who's gonna have sex with me.
But here's for the most important. This went fairly viral, so maybe you guys have seen it. But it's this TV show, the intro to this TV show that I'd never heard of before. It says, really wild to find a failed, forgotten TV show where everyone is now famous. The last name is a shocker. So, I want you to...
Okay.
Is this last name, the last name that pops up, is it the most important name change in history?
Get out of here!
Billy Burr.
Billy Burr. Imagine if he didn't change it to Bill.
Billy Burr.
Billy Burr at the Red Rocks. Different game.
Totally different life. The game has changed. What was that called? Townies? And it was just all people in
Gloucester. Yeah, that's why everyone went viral in Massachusetts.
Hey, it's Billy Burr. Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious.
I think the older guys call him Billy though.
Do they?
Well, that's funny because when he does his nicknames, it's old Billy Redface. It's
Yeah,
old Billy this,
yeah,
Billy that.
true.
So maybe there was a whole time where he was calling himself Billy.
I think the OGs still call him Billy.
Yeah.
Billy Burr.
Yeah.
That feels like something if I ever, if I went up to him and said, "Hey, Billy." Fucking, you don't call me Billy.
What are you doing?
I call myself Billy and like my buddy, that is fucking hilarious.
He's fucking amazing.
That is a different life if he's Billy.
Yeah.